for your air candy with K&K. The music never sleeps. Get ready for your sugar high with coffee and candy.
Yes. Cisco Kennedy, JC in the studio. And we are gathering our things up. We have our checklists. We are packing up for the beach. JC, what do you think I'm talking about going to the beach? What are we doing?
Listen, let's get straight. Do not tell our audience that we're packing the car to go lay out a towel and hang out in the sun, because that is not what you're talking about. You are talking about our debut performance, Patty's Beach Club, Tikki Beach, Squamicut Beach, Westerly, Rhode Island. I can't wait.
Yes, so every Sunday during the summer, they have a beach party.
That's right.
With, like various electronic DJs from all over. And we happen to be opening up on August 27th. What's the lineup? You have it there in front of you.
The lineup includes local DJ Donnie D, who I understand is a veteran of Big Nights, Shrine, and many other locations.
Yeah.
We haven't had a chance to meet him, but we're looking forward to that. Our friend JM from New York is going to be playing as well. Us, of course, Coffee and Candy. And we'll be opening up for Latin House DJ from Miami, Djin Varela. I'm very excited.
Hey, how to do that.
Listen, it's going to be great. Bottom line is, I hats off to Vinny Vibe for making this happen for us.
Yes.
You know, Vinny has been a great supporter of Coffee and Candy since we met. And I was honored, I know you were honored to be asked to play at Tikki Beach. It's a great opportunity. It's the first time for us playing there, and the first time playing in support of Djin Varela and many of the folks that Vinny puts on. So I'm excited. I can't wait.
Yeah, and lately we've kind of been doing our own thing where you're at one venue, I'm at another venue. So this is going to be the first time in a while where we are together at something outside of the local Providence city landscape that we're used to playing, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a new opportunity, new audiences that we'll hopefully be able to deliver the Coffee and Candy product to. I mean, after all, I think the folks that go to Tikki Beach on Sundays are diehard EDM fans. They're all about the music, and many of those folks don't know who we are, and we're going to deliver what we have to offer. I'm really excited. And I gotta let you know, you diss me on all these outdoor activities, block parties, and you name it. You're always too busy. You finally fit me into your schedule at the tail end of the summer, Armando.
Yeah. And the nice thing about this is there is an actual stage with sound. The equipment is already there.
LED lights.
Yes. So this is going to be a full-blown production. If you're in the area and this sounds like something that you want to come and see, I will post a link on our Instagram where you can purchase some tickets. We also have VIP cabanas that are available. If you want to support, that will be on the link as well.
Listen, tickets are available. I think they're $20. I think they can be bought on Eventbrite, so go ahead and post that up. But for folks that want to book the VIP cabanas, they can call 401-236-7338. I highly recommend it. You know as well as I do that a lot of times we go to shows, we get the VIP booth, we get the cabana. It's just great. You have your own space. You don't have to worry about getting stepped on. You can invite your friends. You have bottle service, wait service, food. It's great.
Yeah. And I had said that we are packing for the beach, but what I meant by that is we are prepping for our beach set.
Without a doubt. We want to make a great impression.
Yeah.
On the fans, on our colleagues, on the folks that run Tikki Beach. And a lot of work is going into this because let's face it, it's going to be kind of like a normal EDM event, a minis festival, number of DJs. Everyone's going to have a set time. So it's going to be a limited amount of time to play. And in order to have an impactful set, as you know, it's not about the random selection in EDM world. It's got to be planned, prepared, and well thought out in advance.
Yeah. So can we talk a little bit about, not that we're going to go too much into detail because we're going to save that for the actual show itself.
Yeah.
But can we talk a little bit about the process that you personally go through when you are getting ready for something like this? Because I know it's very different from mine. And I just want to see if maybe other people out there have the same process as JC.
Listen, let me just comment on your process. You're creatively, you have a creative process, right? You're all about feeling the songs, what feels right. The songs find you, la-di-da-di-da. You can edit this out if you don't like it. I'm more methodical. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through all 5,000 songs in my music library. It's going to take me 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. And I'm going to pick out what I believe to be the best 200. And then I'm going to spend another few hours and I'm going to whittle it down to 100. Then I'm going to put those 100 tracks in mix and key and see how they all fit together from, key, tempo, energy level, what have you. And then from that, I'm hoping that we'll carve out the best 60 and we will create custom 1-minute short edits and we will build a 60-minute set.
Sweet.
And that 60 minutes of music, those 60 songs, will be a journey of highs and lows, builds and drops, commercial tracks, sing-along moments, and also some unrecognizable IDs. And intertwined within there will be some Coffee and Candy original remixes, Coffee and Candy original tracks.
Yes, because we've been putting a lot of work into our own stuff, and we definitely want to obviously push that, our remix work, our original work. I don't know what I like more. Sometimes I'm like more into our remix stuff, and then other times I really like the original stuff.
Listen, it's all great. It all has its time to shine. It all has its right moment. But this is what I personally feel that the open format DJs don't understand about EDM music. You cannot show up to an EDM crowd with thousands of tracks and then figure it out when you get there. You're not going to impress the audience. You're not going to leave a lasting impression. And this is why so much early planning and thought goes into it in advance.
I agree. It's not that I don't agree. I agree. I just wish I had the opportunity to take the time that we use to prep for a set like this with all my events. It doesn't always happen that way because I have so many events.
Yeah, well, listen, here's the thing. If you were an A-level touring DJ, as Armin van Buuren said in a recent interview, you would have that set and you would simply recycle it over and over again, week after week after week at your, Ibiza residency or in your European tour. And you might change the ordering of the tracks or maybe make a couple of different edits along the way on the plane and the hotel to sort of entertain yourself to change it up. But because of your, we'll just call it your basic career as an events DJ, you're accommodating the customer. The customer wants a certain format music. The event calls for a certain format music, certain styles, whether it's a wedding, a dance, a party, a corporate event. And because you're doing so many, such high volume, I don't think it's possible for you to put the hours into the preparation. Additionally, by the time we get to Tikki Beach, we're going to have 40 or 50 hours of prep into a 1-hour set.
Isn't that incredible right there?
No, not at all. Not at all. Because I once heard, I was at Ultra once and Damien, the MC, was on and he was introducing Afrojack and he said that Afrojack spent 6 weeks prepping his intro. How about that? It lasted 2 minutes. It had so many sound bites in it. It was unbelievable. But 6 weeks alone on that 2 minutes worth of music. And you as an artist should know that sometimes the greatest creations aren't done overnight. My uncle used to tell me when I was a kid, Johnny, Rome wasn't built in a day, right? Yeah. And I would laugh. But let's face it, these great sets are not built quickly and on the fly. No way, no how.
You're right. I can't argue with that.
Hey, it took you a long time to get on the same platform with me, but I'm so glad we finally reached the meeting of the minds.
Yeah, I'm a little stubborn, half Italian, half Portuguese, so I'm real stubborn. Listen, but I come around. I come around. It takes a little bit.
You are the talent behind the operation.
Thank you.
But let's say this. I was thinking about this. I want to talk openly about this. I've heard a number of other DJs and producers that I've encountered on this journey talk about this concept of finding your sound. And I'm starting to think more about that because now that I'm learning more about the software, and though I might be influencing the product conceptually more than I'm technically designing the sounds. I'm starting to think about what this means to us, because as electronic DJs and producers, we have a lot of different sounds, and there's not always consistency. Sometimes we'll put together a track that sounds very commercial. Sometimes we'll do a flip of an 80s or a 90s song using sampling. Other times we're doing melodic techno and house like we just were in the studio. There's other occasions where you're putting together a future rave sound. And maybe that is coffee and candy sound, sort of a collage of all the individual electronic music subgenres. I'm not sure, but I don't think we have found a consistent sound where someone's going to hear it and say, oh, that's coffee and candy. Like someone might hear the future rave and think, oh, that's David Guetta and Morton. We're not at that point. I don't know if we will get to that point. I don't know if we need to. I don't know if we want to. I like the flexibility of being able to do different things. Like that melodic techno sound we were just working on. Obviously, we're not going to play it for the audience. It's a work in progress. But I love that. Just like I loved Downtown and In the Club. Just as much as I loved the flip on Physical and the Next to Me. I think what I enjoy about this is being able to dip my foot in so many different pools, i.e. subgenres of electronic music, and then piece it all together. Sure, it's great when I go to a show and I see Tiesto and he plays his classics and his new stuff, but for the most part, it's all his sound. And then when he's done, another DJ comes on and plays their sound. I like the idea that we're young enough in this process that we're able to experiment with so many different sounds and put them together. And maybe at the end of the day, that becomes what coffee and candy is, a collage of multiple sounds. I don't know. What do you think about all this?
Yeah, I think that there is a few sides to coffee and candy. There's coffee and candy as DJs. There's coffee and candy as remixers. There's coffee and candy as an artist. An artist, a band. We are a DJ duo, but for more of a mainstream term, right? An artist band. Coffee and candy, who's that? So if someone was to say, oh, they're an electronic DJ duo. So okay, right there tells you, like the music format is electronic for the genre. They are DJs, and there's two of them. Now, whether we get known more for our DJing, they play amazing sets. Oh, they play all their own songs. They play instruments on stage. Oh, no, they don't play instruments on stage. They DJ, and they play all the various commercial songs that are out there. But the stuff that they play, that stuff just sounds so different than other DJs. And that goes down to what you're doing now, going through all your songs, finding and picking, certain selective ones that will go good together for this particular set. After Tikki Beach, we might have an event somewhere that is inside at a different venue, and we're going to look at our music library in a whole nother way now. Same songs, but we're going to pick out different songs for a different set, for a different moment to perform, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. And when I think about our DJing style, all the music is electronic, but many subgenres. Tech house, melodic tech, straight house, sometimes Afro house, Latin house is making a move, future rave. It just goes on and on. It doesn't seem like we have a sound that's consistent or committed, that's the word, to any particular subgenre. It really seems to me like we put our arms around many subgenres, but under the larger electronic umbrella. Does that make good sense?
Yeah, from an artist standpoint, Coffee and Candy as an artist, I've been leaning more towards the melodic house, melodic techno sounds. That and with a lot of our original songs like Memoria, or I say that's original because I made the production original.
Sure.
The vocals obviously is from Nirvana.
Of course.
But the beat, is an original, and it's in like a melodic house techno format. Piece of Me is a complete original, same thing. And there's a few other songs recently been coming out that have certain sounds in there that are that melodic style. So I think that if so far to gauge, like there's a percent of what sub-genre Coffee and Candy is, I say it would be melodic house.
But we also made some tech house sounds. We've made some commercial sounds.
Yeah, the club.
We did some flips on 80s and 90s tracks.
Downtown, Body. Those three were all made in the same season. And that was all tech house. And that was at a time where I didn't know how to make tech house. And I wanted to challenge myself and learn how to make tech house, because 2021, 2022, and 2023, tech house has really become a mainstream electronic genre. So I said, I have to figure this out. I have to learn it. I have to understand it. And we did. And I can make 10 more tracks if I needed to, but I'm someone that likes to kind of know how to do everything. If there's something I hear, and like when we went to go see Cascade in Boston, was it at the Grand?
Yes.
And
I think it was last spring.
Yeah, great show. When I left there for the next 2 weeks, I could not get his set out of my head. It just kept playing and playing and playing and playing. And I sat in the studio every day learning and trying to figure out how to mimic and make a production like what I heard. It took me probably about almost 3 months, but I figured it out.
This is my point. Because of the way your mind works, this creative side of you, Coffee and Candy doesn't have a consistent sound, because just like we're bouncing around with the track selection in the live sets, we're also bouncing around with different sounds in the studio. I mean, talk about some of the things we did today. The melodic house techno we were just chatting about. You had a drum and bass track going with an old hip hop vocal. Yep. We just remixed JM's On and On, totally commercial radio sound.
Yeah.
So you see my point. So is Coffee and Candy going to be this level of diversity, or is this part of our journey as we try to find what others would characterize as your sound? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why it's kind of like an open discussion. I've been thinking about it. I know it's like theoretical, philosophical. It's not, these ideas that are in my mind are not quite concrete. I'm sort of stepping out of the Coffee and Candy skin, looking at what we're doing and just wondering if this is part of the process, if this is who we are, or if we're on a journey to so-called find our sound.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. From a fan perspective, I'm going to throw a big name here. When I say the word the Chainsmokers, do you think of them as artists, DJs, or remixers?
Well, they wear all three hats, obviously.
They do. They started off, I believe, I hope I'm right with this, I think they started off as remixers, coming up, DJing. And then once they were able to get signed to a deal, they then became artists, right? And then they didn't really remix as much, because now they will focus on their original songs as an artist.
When I think about the Chainsmokers, it's interesting that you picked that as an example. I can't say that I believe the Chainsmokers have a sound. How about that?
Okay.
If you said David Guetta, he currently has a future rave sound, and it weaves its way amongst all of his productions that are coming out. If you mention Tiesto, he has a sound. He has a certain, pack of sounds that he uses and recycles and changes and adds processing to, and you can hear it. If you said Afrojack has a sound, Hardwell has a sound, Pickle has a sound. These are people with distinct sounds. Who else has a sound? Rhyme Dust. What's Brain Fart? And Gold.
Yeah, we're gonna edit this part out.
No, but who am I thinking of?
I don't even fucking know who sings this.
Dom Dollar.
There's
Dom
so
Dollar.
many.
Dom Dollar
Like,
has
you got
a
it.
sound.
You got it. Congratulations to you.
But he has a sound. You see?
Yes.
He has a sound.
Yeah. He does. But that's with being consistent with taking a sound and then maximizing the potential out of that sound with like 6 to 12 records, right? Just exhausting every possibility with that sound.
Maybe artists develop a sound, not all, but some, and they only maintain that particular sound perhaps for an album, maybe 2, maybe 3.
Yep.
And then as they go further on in their journey, maybe they discover a new sound, and that becomes sort of the birth child of multiple tracks in that family. Maybe it goes down like that for some folks.
Yeah. I think all those big names, like David Guetta said, he invented the future rave because he was so bored with playing just what we will call dance music. Just so many years. I mean, he's been in this game for almost like 30 years doing this. And he has said in an interview, I got so sick of playing the same stuff every night. Boom, 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 right? And that's me doing house music, techno music. Bootsing, catsin, bootsing.
Are you going to edit that out too?
No, I'm gonna keep it. But the point is, he wanted to create something that was new, something that was a little dark, but that could be mainstream, and that's exactly what he did with the future rave. It's like a combination of trance and house music combined, and that's what I call future rave. And he's perfected it. You know, like the best thing that happened to him was COVID, because if COVID never happened, I don't think he would have ever had the time to invent future rave.
I like the future rave sound, but it's all starting to sound alike.
What is?
The future rave sounds.
Well, of course it sounds alike. That's what identifies it and categorize it as future rave.
But I think that the artists that are producing the songs, the individual songs, don't have a certain level of sort of uniqueness to differentiate them one from the other. Well, and perhaps that's why they're taking the future rave sound and making flips of other tracks that people know so well.
Yeah, well,
to keep it interesting.
Once there's a new sub-genre that comes out, all the commercial songs, you know, all the top 100 hits from all the past 2-3 decades, they all get remixed in that new trendy sub-genre. Like at the turn of the century, you know, it was techno, and then all the songs were getting redone in techno remixes, right? And then when 2010 came and the whole dubstep scene happened, the same, you know, top 100 songs from all the genres were getting now remixed in the dubstep version. And then like the Moombahton style came out and everything's getting flipped in the Moombahton. Then we have like the Afro beat, Afro house. Everything's getting flipped in that subgenre. Melodic techno, melodic house. Then, you know, in hip hop, you've got trap, and there's all these subgenres. Once there's a new sound that gets sort of trendy, now you take all your top hits and now you have them remixed in that subgenre.
Sure.
That's what everyone does. Because even on DJ City, most of it was coming out, they're just remixes of all the last 20 years of songs, but they're all in like the latest sounds and styles that are in today. And in a couple of years, they're going to be out and something else will be in the same top 100 songs, like Justin Timberlake's Sexy Back and like the Nelly Furtado, Promiscuous Girl, and all those songs. They're going to get remade and remixed again with a new style and a new sound.
I see that for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
I see that for sure. Well, there are certain songs that just become classics and, withstand the test of time.
Yeah. So I think you're right. I think that there is no one defined subgenre that identifies that's Coffee and Candy's sound. But maybe that is a good thing, because that will spread us a little bit here and a little bit there. And the more that we spread ourselves out, the more chances that something will take off. And then hopefully we'll catapult Coffee and Candy to retail value here.
Listen, if that happens, perhaps the song that becomes responsible for that occurrence will then begin to lay the groundwork of defining the sound.
Yeah, and that could be a gift and a curse, because now once your audience kind of likes something, and then you come up with something different, they're like, hey, what the fuck is this? Why? It sounds so different from your last song that we all know and love as your, hit record. And now everyone just wants more of those. And that's why labels have songwriting teams, why artists are out on tour. There's a whole group of people that are continuing to try to make their next record and their next record and their next record, because they have to now keep that similar sound going. Do it again, do it again, do it again. And the artists, I don't got time to be in the studio. You just put me on a 18-week tour. Okay, cool. We'll find people to make your songs for you. Don't worry about it. That's real shit. That happens every day.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Anyway, so Tikki Beach is coming up August 27th, the last Sunday of this month. Where is that fly? You can get the rundown again. You're a little better at that than I am.
No problem. So, first and foremost, for those that have never been to Patty's Beach Club, Tikki Beach is the Sunday dance party there. It's located at 159 Atlantic Avenue, Westerly, Rhode Island. If individuals are interested in buying tickets, I know you're going to put up a link. They can buy tickets in advance for $20. The lineup for our event is DJ Donnie D, who's local, part of the Big Nights family, JM from New York, us, Coffee and Candy, all of us in support of Djin Varela, Latin House DJ from Miami. I'm super excited. Individuals that want to book VIP cabanas, which we strongly encourage, can call 401-236-7338. I know Coffee and Candy is going to have its cabana, maybe even multiple. I'm inviting all my friends, all my colleagues, all my close family members who I know are fans of Coffee and Candy. I know you're going to do the same. I'm super pumped. Great way to end the summer for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And note that I say us, because the following weekend I'll be ending my summer at Electric Zoo in New York City, where I'll get to see some of the world's top DJs, closing out my personal festival season until March rolls around, and I will see you in Miami at Ultra, or I'm breaking up with you, Armando.
Oh, wow, huh? Well, Coffee and Candy's going to be at Electric Zoo, JC representing, and we will both be at Ultra Miami 2024 in March.
Woohoo!
But yeah, so the link for the cabanas and the tickets I'm going to put on our Instagram bio. It's going to be a link tree. Just scroll down. You should be able to see it. And let's get to today's mix.
Let's do it.
It doesn't hurt me. Do you wanna feel how it feels? Do you wanna know that it doesn't hurt me? Do you wanna hear about the deal I'm making? It's you and me. Don't forget my love. Don't forget my love.
Bankroll so low, I got nothing else that I can withdraw. Ran up the dough, I shot my wrist, it go like sha sha sha, sha sha sha. I got your bitch singing la 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 la, la la la. I shot my wrist, it go like sha sha sha, sha sha sha. I got your bitch singing la 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 la, la la la. How I try like that? Amex, no cap, ain't underscore. They wanna lie. How I go up like that? How I try like that? How I try like that?
Ride with me.
naturally. Speak to the rhythm and vibe with me. Speak to the rhythm and vibe with me. Me, 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 yeah, vibe with me. Vibe with me. Yeah, vibe with me. Vibe with me. Yeah, vibe with me. Vibe with me. Speak to the rhythm and vibe with me. Vibe with me. Yeah, vibe with me. Vibe with me.
be chatting, I don't give a damn, and I'm still getting money, I know who I am. Tryna be low, he gon' hit on my gram. If he smart, he gon' act like a fan. Picky, you bigger, they got your head gas. Bitches slow, so I give him a pass. Like, keep it a stack. Bitches move up, cause they know I got bands. They be chatting, I don't give a damn, and I'm still getting money, I know who I am. Tryna be low, he gon' hit on my gram. If he smart, he gon' act like a fan. Picky, you bigger, they got your head gas. Bitches slow, so I give him a pass. And I just fell in love with a gangster, so he put my name in the top. But I don't let him come to the crib, so we get it on where we at. Nowadays I be ducking them cameras, and they hype that I'm up on them banners. Calling my phone, but they know I don't answer. In the hood, I'm like Princess Diana. I'm thick cause I be eating oats. Bitch not taking shit from me but notes. Wanna be me, so she do my emotes and my name in her mouth, so I bet she gon' choke. Tell her man I'm the girl of his dreams. Think about me when he brushing his teeth. He get texting, I leave him on scene. Hottest bitch out and they know what I mean. Like, keep it a stack. Bitches move up cause they know I got bands. They be chatting, I don't give a damn, and I'm still getting money, I know who I am. Tryna be low, he gon' hit on my gram. If he smart, he gon' act like a fan. Picky, you bigger, they got your head gas. Bitches slow, so I give him a pass. Like, keep it a stack. Bitches move up cause they know I got bands. They be chatting, I don't give a damn, and I'm still getting money, I know who I am. Tryna be low, he gon' hit on my gram. If he smart, he gon' act like a fan. Picky, you bigger, they got your head gas. Bitches slow, so I give him a pass.
I be eating my spinach. They tried to clone my image. They burnt they London bridges. None of them bitches British. I know they know the difference. And I just fell in love with a gangster, so I hold him down like an anchor. He said if I keep it 100, then he keep me safe like a banker. Nowadays I be making them famous. She the princess, so fuck who you lames is. Of course I be pushing they buttons. I hold a control like the gamers. Like God, keep it a stack. Bitches is active, we keepin' it crack. Bad little redhead, she rock the black. We come out, it's a movie, but we don't do back. Live from London, straight from the palace. Manda Magalis, I text us like Dallas. Keep it a bean, yo, he talk nice cause the pussy gave me how. Like God, keep it a stack. They just move on cause they know I got bands. They be chatting, I don't give a damn, and I'm still getting money, I know who I am. Tryna be low, he gon' hit up my gram. If he's smart, he gon' act like a fan. Thinking you bigger, they got your head gas. Bitches slow, so I give him a pass. Like God, keep it a stack. Bitches move on cause they know I got bands. They be chatting, I don't give a damn, and I'm still getting money, I know who I am. Tryna be low, he gon' hit up my gram. If he's smart, he gon' act like a fan. Thinking you bigger, they got your head gas. Bitches slow, so I give him a pass.
Coffee and Candy.
Request blackout.